You know, one of the advantages of living in Port St. Lucie in the Treasure Coast is the proximity of the Hutchinson Island beaches, where I'm at now. Living in tradition about 12 miles off the coast means I'm not in a surge zone, I'm not in a flood zone, and that means I can get homeowners insurance for well under $2,000 a year. But I can get to the beach for a beach day in around 30 to 40 minutes. You know, actually, I've done the trip across Crosstown Parkway in 25 minutes, but it's also taken me 45 minutes. So the distance isn't the issue, it's the lights and the traffic that kind of slow you down a little bit. Regardless, it's still easy access to some of the best and less crowded beaches in Florida. Now, today I'm training for a bike ride on Hutchinson Island, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the day on the beach. So come along, I'll show you some things. Hey, I'm Stephen Kimos, a local realtor specializing in new construction here in beautiful 88-degree Port St. Lucie, Florida. And today I wanted to show you a few beaches from Stuart Beach north to Jensen Beach. It's about 6 miles between the two beaches, and that bookends this section of Hutchinson Island. Now, the next stretch of beaches runs 12 miles from Jensen Beach to Fort Pierce. And in that stretch, you got some great beaches like Walton Rocks Beach, which is the off-leash dog lovers beach. And you have the clothing optional Bryn Creek Beach. And there's also a bunch of other great, what they call primitive beaches and state parks along the way. But those are the more notable ones. I mean, you want to know more about Fort Pierce, by the way, you can check out this video, linked in the description below. It really covers a lot about Fort Pierce. Now, to the south, you have some other great beaches like Bathtub Beach, but today I want to stay between the bookended beaches of Stuart and Jensen Beach. So let's start with Stuart Beach and work our way north, but don't confuse Stuart Beach with the quaint town of Stuart, which is 4 or 5 miles to the west through a bunch of traffic lights. Now, downtown Stuart is a great town for shopping, restaurants, nightlife. It's a really cool spot on the Treasure Coast. It's kind of small, quaint. And if you want to know more about downtown Stuart, check out this video here. It's also linked in the description below. Now, Stuart Beach itself, like Jensen Beach, is a full-service beach, which means it has a large, fully paved parking lot, a well-equipped cafe that serves breakfast and lunch. It has bathrooms, it has decent cell service, volleyball and basketball courts, and lifeguards on duty during the day. And you know, Martin County does a really good job of keeping it clean and updated. In fact, I got married on this beach some time ago. And the mangrove passageway onto the beach is a pretty nice touch. Now, the downside to this particular beach, Stuart Beach, is that while it's fairly long, the beach comes with some width, but it can really get crowded on weekends and holidays. Now, if you're lucky enough to be able to beach during the weekdays, this isn't a problem. I mean, this beach, along with Jensen Beach, are great full-service beaches, and they're great choices for any day at the beach. So as we leave Stuart and head up Jimmy Buffett Drive north, you come across smaller, more primitive or state park-like beaches like Virginia Forrest Beach, Bryn Mar Beach, Beachwalk, Bob Graham Beach. And these beaches are far less crowded, even on weekends or holidays. You'd be hard-pressed to have someone sit anywhere near you during a weekend or holiday. They do lack the amenities of the full-service beaches like bathrooms, lifeguards, cafes, and decent cell service, but they do provide a more serene-like and nature-like experience. Some still have paved parking lots and easy beach access, and you know what? I prefer these beaches. They just seem more relaxing to me. By the way, when you're out on these beaches, be sure not to step on the hundreds of turtles' nests and where they lay their eggs. It's located all over these beaches. So I'm out here on Virginia Forrest Beach. It's one of these less crowded beaches. You can take a look around me here and see you have like 3 people on this entire giant beach. So finally you reach the circle at Jensen Beach. Now to the west over the bridge is the quaint town of Jensen Beach, which is different than the actual beach. The town of Jensen has some shops, restaurants, bars. It's a good place to hang out. And if you want to know more about Jensen, check out my video here on the town. The video has thousands of views, so it might be worth checking out. So Jensen Beach is bordered to the south by Hutchinson Island Resort, which is a top-end hotel with a great restaurant and bar right there on the water. You should check it out. But like Stuart, Jensen is a full-time, full-service beach. And at its northern end, we had the cafe, which burned down in 2024. And I'm standing on the spot where the cafe used to be. Now the cafe, which like I said burnt down in 2024, is being built bigger and better at the cost of about $4 million. It has a large beach and a paved parking lot, volleyball courts, bathrooms, okay self-service, and it's guarded. But much like Stuart, it can get crowded on weekends and holidays. So in general, it's a little smaller version of the Stuart Beach. But again, like Stuart Beach, it's clean, fairly long and wide, with turquoise water, warm water all year round. In fact, on all of these beaches, the water temperature is as warm in January as it is in mid-August on the mid-Atlantic. Now, one thing I notice on my beach days, in the winter especially, when it's 77 degrees and a bit breezy, the tourists are all in bathing suits and bikinis, jumping around the water, while I'm bundled up wearing a sweatshirt, long sweatpants, and a hat reading. Now, also, when you live near the beach, you are more selective about which days you go because you have an unlimited amount of days to choose from. And you also have an unlimited amount of weather to choose from. So if the weather's iffy a day, just wait a day or two and then go. We can also take advantage of the really uncrowded days. I mean, there's been days I've been sitting on what is normally a really crowded beach where I seem like the only person out there, where I only see other people way off in the distance, you know, even on a great weather day. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you found the information here useful, or at least you like what you saw. It's beautiful beaches. Be sure to like and subscribe so this information gets out to more people so they can see what it's like to live here on the Treasure Coast. And as always, my information is on the screen here and in the description below if you want to talk about anything real estate related or the Treasure Coast. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.